ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः। ॐ श्रीरामचन्द्राय नमः। So today is the birthday of Sri Ramachandra by lunar calendar. So we are having a small celebration here. Thanks to Anjali Di for reminding me, I did not know. So we had a previous different program, but fortunately we have changed it. So we will have some reading from the Ramayana, and of course as a part of every celebration some devotional songs, etc. So I wish all of you who are online could also be here, but that is not possible, it seems. So just a small introduction of the incarnation of God who came as Sri Ramachandra. Somebody is there to what? So the influence of Sri Ramachandra in India, and of course in some other parts of the world also, but not so much, can only be known by those who have lived in that country, lived in India. So what the Hindus, the Indian civilization, and of course essential religion of mankind owe to this great personage cannot really be estimated. So it is not 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, since thousands of years we have cherished him in our heart, talked about him, sung his glories, chanted his name, gone on pilgrimages to places associated with his life and acts. So we have so many things that you cannot even estimate, that Rama literature, Rama art, Rama songs, Rama pilgrimage, Rama fairs. So all these indicate how sincerely still the people of India cherish Sri Ramachandra and his divine play which he had done on earth. And it is really amazing. It is not only with him, it is all with all incarnations, it is true, that how one person's acts and teachings could stay such a powerful living inspiration for millions of people down the ages. It is not a question of 1 or 2 days. So in the Valmiki Ramayana, in North India there are two major Ramayanas, two major versions, I think most of you know. So first Ramayana, of course, we know is by Valmiki. And the next most popular Ramayana is by Goswami Tulsidas. That is called the Ramcharitmanas. So in the Valmiki Ramayana, there is a prophecy. What is that prophecy? Yavat sthasyanti girayah saritascha mahitale tavat Ramayana katha lokeshu pracharishyati. So what tremendous statement. As long as hills stand and rivers flow on this earth, so long will the story of Ramachandra be current in all parts of the world, the whole world. This means that it will continue through eternity, because God is eternal and the heritage which he leaves behind is also eternal. So it is said, Hari Ananta, Hari Katha Ananta. So as time rolls on, Rama's story continues. It continues to be narrated in large number of human languages. Ramayana stories are available not only in languages of India but in many other languages of the world. Millions of people every day read and hear some literature on him. Millions more constantly take his name. So Rama is, you can say that, India's most widely understood language, Rama and Krishna. It is not only language but it is philosophy, inspiration and medicine for all the sufferings of life. So now who was this Ramachandra? The question comes, who was in reality this great teacher, Sri Ramachandra, who continues to inspire us throughout the ages? So since he was a teacher par excellence, he was known as one of the foremost teachers of his time, and he is revered all over India and of course other parts of the world also as an incarnation of God. That God himself came down as Krishna, Ramachandra, etc. God is the only true Guru. Only He teaches, and if we receive knowledge through any human being, we should know that actually it is God who is teaching through that person. So that is why Sri Ramakrishna says that there is only one Guru, and that is Satchidananda. He alone is the teacher. Sri Ramakrishna also says, He who is the Lord of the universe teaches everyone. He alone teaches us, who has created this universe, who has made the sun and moon, men and beasts, and all other beings, who has provided means for their sustenance, who has given children parents and endowed them with love to bring them up. So, God teaches by coming to this earth, assuming a human form, so that we can come close to Him, accept Him as one of us, and understand Him better. But in reality, His nature is far, far above from this world, because He is divine. So His nature is described in all our scriptures, any language, either Hindi or Sanskrit or Bengali or any other Indian language, so that we can be aware, as far as our intellect goes, as far as we can understand, we can have some idea of who God is. So today, of course, we will be concentrating on the Ramcharitmanas, the Ramayana, written by the great saint Tulsidas ji. So what is the description of God given in that book? There are hundreds of descriptions. So one I will quote, which we sing with Ram Nam. When we sing Ram Nam, we also sing this one. So what did he say? Yanmaya vashavati vishwamakhilam brahmadi deva sura. Yan Maya, by whose Maya, Vashavarti, it is controlled, the whole universe is controlled, even from Brahma, Brahmadi Deva and Asura. So all the gods, demons, whatever you say, is controlled by his Maya. Yat sattvadam rishaiva bhati sakalam rajau yatha Her Brahma. So these are very philosophical statement. Yat sattvad mrisha eva bhati means because of whose presence, although this world is false, it appears to be true. Just like the snake in the rope appears to be true. So there is a rope which we think it is a snake. Okay. So the snake appears to be true till we are in ignorance. But if there was no rope, the snake would not have appeared to be true. Behind the snake there is the rope. Rajjau yatha he brahmaha. This brahm of a rajju, that is a rope being a snake, occurs so that we think that a snake is real. So similarly, we think this whole universe is real. Why? Because the reality which stands behind that. That reality is Sri Rama. Then he says, Yat padaplavameka bhati bhavam bodhe stitirshaavatam vandeham tamashesha karana param ramakhyamisham harim. Yat padaplavam eka evahi. His feet are the only means or the only boat by which we can cross over this Bhavam Bodhi. Bhavam Bodhi means this ocean of the world. There is no other refuge. So that Rama, Vandeham, I bow down to that Sri Ramachandra, Tam Ashesha Karana Param, who is the cause of everything as well as beyond all causes, Ramakhyam, that is who is called Rama. Harim, that God who is called Rama in this particular form, I bow down to him. So wonderful descriptions are there. I will just quote another one from Ramcharitmanas. It is, this whole book is a poetry. Such a beautiful way it is expressed. So he says, the nature of God, what it is like. Ek aniha arup anama aj sachidanand pardhama व्यापक विश्वरूप भगवाना तेहि धरि देह चरित कृत नाना सो केवल भगतन हित लागी परम कृपाल प्रणत अनुरागी जेहि जन पर ममता अति छोहु जेहि करुणा करि कीन्हन कोहु. So, ek aniha arupa anama aja satchidanand paradhama. God is one, desireless, formless, nameless and unborn, who is truth, consciousness and bliss, who is supreme effulgence, all pervading and all formed. And it is He who performed many deeds assuming a suitable form. Tehi de dhari deha charita krita nana. So keval bhagatan hit lagi. He comes down to this earth. Why? Not for himself. Only for his devotees. Only for humankind. Because parama kripala pranata anuragi. Because he is very compassionate. So this is the one another description, beautiful description given of God. But it is said, and Sri Ramakrishna has also said, that it is not easy to recognize an incarnation of God. Because people like us who are blinded by worldly attachments and all, our vision is not so clear that we can recognize great saints or incarnations of God. And He comes hidden. He comes hidden behind the human frame. Even when Sri Ramakrishna was there in Dakshineshwar, how many people recognized him? So, it is a beautiful story in Ramcharitmanas of how difficult it is to recognize God, because He acts exactly like an ordinary human being. So it is said that, leave alone other people, even Sati is the wife of Shankara, wife of Mahadeva. Mahadev means God himself, his wife. So she also fell into a doubt when she saw Sri Ramachandra wandering in the forest. Because of a vow which his father had taken to grant one of his wives anything she wished for. One of his wife was Kekai. So Kekai told Dasharatha, Sri Ramchandra's father, that Ram should be sent for 12 years of Vanavas. Vanavas means he should live in the forest. So why, etc., that is a very big story. Most of you know, but we can discuss it later. So Ram had gone to Vanavas, he was wandering the forest. So now once what happened, the story goes like this. It is a beautiful story. एक बार त्रेता जुग माही शंभु गए कुंभज ऋषि पाही. So once in the Treta Yuga, Shambhu, Shiva, had gone to a sage, Agastya. He was a very great sage. So after meeting Agastya and while returning, when Shankara was returning, Shambhu was returning, at that time, Sri Rama was wandering in the forest. And Shambhu is God, Mahadeva is God, he knows everything. So he knew that Satchidananda himself had come to this earth and he is wandering in the forest. So Shankara is portrayed as a very great devotee of Sri Ramachandra in Ramcharitmanas. So he said, God has come in this earth. I have to have his vision. I must have his vision. He was overcome with devotion. But how can I see God? That was, Mahadev was thinking like this. Hridaya bicharat jat har kehi vidhi darshan hoi gupta roop avatare prabhu gaye jaan sab koi. So he said, how can I have his vision? Because if I go in front of everybody and I bow down to Rama, then everybody will know that he is God. But he is come in a Gupta Roop, he is hidden. He does not want everybody to know that he is God. So how can I have his vision? Now, at that time, what was happening was, Ravana had taken away Sita. And Rama was weeping on account of Sita. He was wandering here and there. Birah bikal nar evar ghurai khojat bipin phirat do bhai. All those two brothers, do bhai, they were searching for Sita everywhere. Now, कबहु जोग वियोग न जाके देखा प्रकट बिरह दुखुता के. There is no jog and viyog in God. God has nothing to gain, he has nothing to lose. But he also is searching for his wife. That is his divine Maya. So because, what is the reason? The reason is God's doings are extremely mysterious. Ati vichitra raghupati charit janahi param sujan je mati mand bimoha basa hridaya dharahi kachuan. Ati vichitra raghupati charit. So God's doings are extremely hard to fathom. But those matimand, those who lack intelligence, they do not know this. So they think that God is just an ordinary man. That is the thing. Now, when Shambhu, that Mahadev, he managed to have a glimpse of Sri Rama. He managed to have darshan of Sri Rama. So he was completely overwhelmed with devotion. शंभु समय ते ही राम ही देखा उपजा ही अति हर्ष विशेषा भरी लोचन छवि सिंधु निहारी, कुसमय जानी न कीनी चिन्हारी. So Mahadev saw Sri Rama, and excessive joy welled up in his heart. Hmm. He feasted his eyes on God incarnate, ocean of beauty, but he did not disclose his feeling, because everybody would come to know that God had come. So he was singing the praises of God after having his vision. जय सच्चिदानंद जग पावन, असी कही चले मनोज नसावन. Nasavan means one who destroys. Who? Manoj. Manoj means the god of love. So Shiva had destroyed him by looking at him with his third eye. So that Manoj Nasavan, he is roaming about singing the praises of the Lord. जय सच्चिदानंद जग पावन, असी कही चले मनोज नसावन. चले जात शिव सती समेता, पुनि पुनि पुलकत कृपा निकेता. So he was in so much joy that he was getting horripilations. And singing the glory of God he was going. Now Sati thought, this fellow, he is wandering in the forest and he is weeping for his wife, and my husband, who is God himself, he is telling that Jaya Satchidananda and all this thing. So he says, Sati so dasa sambhu kay dekhi, ur upja sandehu biseshi. Sandeha, doubt, crept up in Sati's heart. Shankaru jagat bandh jagdisha, sur nar muni sab navat shisha. Shankar is Jagat Vandya, he is adored by all the world. Sur Nara Muni, gods, human beings, great rishis, bow down to my husband Shankara. And this fellow is roaming about in the forest. Tinindripasutahi kini parnama. Parnam is pranam. He is doing pranam to this man. He is just an ordinary, prince. Tinandripusutahi kini parnama, kahi Satchidanand pardhama. Bhay magan chavitasu biloki, ajahu priti ur rahati na roki. And he is having so much devotion towards this fellow that he cannot control that. Priti roki rahit, priti ur rahati na roki. He cannot control the love in his heart. And he is God, and just this fellow is roaming about in the forest. What is the mystery? Can this prince be really God? That is Sati's thinking. This wonderful doha, you see, when she, in her mind, the doubt is coming. ब्रह्म जो व्यापक बिरज अज, अकल अनीह अभेद, सो की देह धरि होई नर, जाहि न जानत ved. Ved is telling that they also do not know God. That God is Brahma, jo Vyapak. Vyaka means all pervading Brahman. So ki deh dhari hoi nara. Can he assume a form and become a human being? Is it ever possible? So this great doubt appeared in Sati's heart. विष्णु जो सुरहित नर तनुधारी, सो सर्वज्ञ जथा त्रिपुरारी, खोजई सो की अज्ञ इव नारी, ज्ञान धाम श्रीपति असुरारी. Like a agya, like an ignorant person, khojai nari, he is searching for his wife, like an ignorant person. Who is Vishnu? Vishnu himself, who is Jnana Dham, who is the ocean of knowledge, Can he do like this? Is it ever possible? But शंभु गिरा पुनि मृषा न होई शिव सर्वज्ञ जानु सब कोई. Everybody knows that Shiva is Sarvagya, my husband. He knows everything. So, Shambhu Puni Mrisha na hoi, he cannot be mistaken. If he tells it is Satchidananda, it has to be Satchidananda. But is it ever possible? As sanshaya man bhayau apara, hoi na hridaya prabodh prachara. So apara, this great sanshaya, made its appearance, this great doubt made its appearance in the heart of Sati. What is the matter? What is happening here? It is impossible that God can weep like an ordinary man, but it is also impossible that my husband, who is Shiva himself, he can be mistaken. So what is the way out? This great doubt engulfed Sati. But she dared not say anything to Shiva. How can she express a doubt? But Shiva knows everything. Jadapi prakat na kaheu bhavani, har antar jami sab jani. Hara, Shiva, is antaryami. God knows everything what is going on. So whether we tell anything or not, he knows. So he said, Sunahi sati tavanari subhavu sanshaya asana dhariya urkau. Look, Sati, you should never hold such a doubt in your mind, Shiva told him. Jasu katha kumbhaj rishi gai bhagati jasu mein munhi sunai. So though about him, I told Agastya, they were returning after seeing Agastya. So the praises whom Agastya was singing, and about him I told him, Soi mama ishta dev raghubira sevat jahi sada muni dhira. See the poetry, unbelievable. Say he is that my ishta deva. Don't be mistaken. That person you see, Soi mama ishta dev raghuvira sevat jahi sada muni dhira. Those muni, great rishis, gods, worship that. He is that Satchidananda. Then another, he stresses the point, Shiva stresses the point, he says, see the poetry. Muni dhir jogi siddha santat bimal man jehi dhyavahi kahi neti nigam puran agam jasu kirati gavahi सोई राम व्यापक ब्रह्म भुवन निकाय पति माया धनी अवतरे अपने भगत हित निज तंत्र नित रघुकुल मुनि. So Muni, Dhir, Jogi, Siddha, all these great people, Vimala Man, by purified minds, Jehi Dhyavahi, the one whom they meditate upon. Kahi neti nigama purana agama jasu kirati gavai. Kirati means great praises. They sing, the scriptures sing by saying na iti, neti, neti. Brahman is not this, not this. That Rama, so Rama Vyapaka Brahma Bhuvana. That Rama has come to this earth. Avatareu apne bhakat hit. He has come for his devotees as the jewel of the Raghuvansha, Raghukula Mani. As the Raghukula Mani, he has come. So Sati, don't have any doubts. But unfortunately, Sati was still having doubts. So then what option did Shankara have? At last he says, जो तुमरे मन अति संदेहु तौ किन जाई परीक्षा लेहु. Pariksha lehu. Go and test him. If you have so much sanshaya, if you have so much doubt in your heart, go and test him. So you go, I will wait here. Tab lagi baith ahu but chahi. Bata means bata vriksha, banyan tree. In that shade I am resting, Shankara says. You come. Jab lagi tumha eha mohi pai. When you are finished, you will find me sitting here. So you go and come. जैसे जाई मोह भ्रम भारी करेहु सो जतनु विवेक विचारी. Vivek vichar, you apply everything, all your intelligence, so that your brahma bhari, this great doubt which is engulfing you, goes away from your heart. This is what Shiva said to Sati. So Sati said, okay, now let me go. So what did Sati do? She assumed the form of Sita. Just think. So assuming the form of Sita, she went. And she thought, if he is God, he will recognize me. So let me try to test him. So when they saw Sita coming from nowhere, Lakshman was also there with Ramachandra. Lakshman, Ramachandra's younger brother. Lakshman also recognized, let alone Rama, Lakshman also recognized this, that this Sati is coming in the vesh, in the garb of Sita. So Lakshman dikh umakrit vesha chakit bhaye Brahm Hridaya Bisesha. So he said, what in the world is happening? Uma Krita Vesha, the form adopted by Uma. Uma is Sati. But he did not say anything, he dared not say anything. His brother is there, no, Rama is there. If anything is to be done, Rama will do. Kahi na sakat kachu ati gambhira prabhu prabhav janat mati dhira. He knows Prabhu Prabhav, he knows the great power which Rama has. He knows that in this world of Maya anything can happen. So he is just silent. Lakshmana did not say anything. Sati kapatu jane usur swami samdarshi sab antarjami. Rama is antarjami. So Sati is kapat. Sati is all this, taking another garb. Rama knew that this is what is happening. So Nijmaya balu hridaya bakhani bole bihasi ramu mridubani. So in his heart of heart, Ram, acknowledged the power of his own Maya. That see, it is creating doubt even in the mind of Sati. Nijmaya bal Hridaya Bakhani. Then what did he do? He smiled, Mridu Bani. In very polite terms, he addressed Sati. What did he say? Jori Pani Prabhu Kina Pranamu. He made pranam because Sati was after all Sati. So he made pranam. Pita Samet Lina Nijnamu. He introduced himself that I am the son of so and so. I am the son of Dashratha. He said, Kaheu Bahori Kaha Vrishketu. Where is Vrishketu? Where is Shiva? Bipin Akeli Phirahu Kehu Hetu. In this forest, mother, why are you roaming around alone? Where is Shiva? So Sati knew that now there is no doubt at all. So she became very embarrassed. What could she say? So she returned to Shankara, she returned to Shambhu. And when Shambhu, that Mahadev asked her that, have you tested? Then she was so embarrassed, she could not say anything. She said, no, Lord, after you have said, what can I say? So then it is a long narrative. Of course, we have so many programs today. I won't carry this further. So then Shiva again made pranama to Sri Rama that Rama, see your Maya. Even Sati is forced to hide the truth from me because of your Maya. But he was also a little grieved because Sati had taken the form of Sita. So Sita, Shiva was like a mother goddess to Shiva. So he said that now that Sati has assumed the form of Sita, I cannot treat her as my wife anymore. So the only way out for her is to give up her body. Yeah. So Sati also thought that I have done a great sin type of thing. So she gave up her body in the Daksha Yajna, she immolated herself in the fire and was reborn as Parvati. She again became the consort of Shiva as Parvati. So Shiva Parvati are eternally there. So it is a wonderful story, and of course the poetry is unbelievable. Those who can even understand a little of this Hindi, because it can never really be translated. This is absolutely out of this world. This great work of Tulsidas ji. So this is how difficult it is to recognize God when He comes down as a human being. So narrated in the form of this small story in Ramayana. So God willing, we'll have the opportunity to read some other portions of this great work also later. So we will just now have a simple small worship and offering of food and a little aarti. So I will just place the computer where everybody can see. And then of course we'll have Ramnavami and other songs also.
Swamiji,
Yeah.
I have a question that's not to do it in this topic.